The music had just begun when the church doors slammed open, hard enough to shake the floor. Every head turned at once. The bride froze mid-step, her bouquet trembling in her hand. And then the gasps echoed through the chapel. Her dog, her loyal German shepherd, Max, charged down the aisle. Not barking, not attacking, but standing directly in her path, blocking her from taking another step. The groom's smile faded. Guests whispered in confusion. The wedding planner nearly fainted. But Max didn't budge. He stared at the bride with an intensity she had never seen before. She whispered, "Max, what's wrong?" He whined, low, heartbreaking, then gently tugged at her dress, trying to pull her back. Everyone thought it was a disruption. But what Max knew, what he was trying desperately to stop, would shatter her world and change the entire wedding forever. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The music floated through the church like a dream. Soft violins, steady organ notes, and a gentle hum of admiration as the bride stepped through the doors. Her white gown shimmered under the stained glass light. Guests rose to their feet, smiling, whispering, some wiping happy tears. The groom stood at the altar, chest lifted with pride, eyes shining as he watched the woman he loved walk toward him. It was perfect. Every detail, every moment, until the church doors burst open for a second time. That a loud gasp swept through the aisle as a German shepherd sprinted forward, tail stiff, ears sharp, eyes locked on the bride. The music faltered. The bridesmaids froze. Bouquets trembled in their hands. "Max," the bride whispered, stunned. Her loyal dog didn't slow. He skidded to a stop directly in front of her, blocking her path so forcefully that she nearly stumbled into him. Guests murmured in confusion. The groom's smile collapsed. The wedding planner clutched her clipboard like she might faint, but Max wasn't misbehaving. He wasn't confused. He stood with his body tense, his gaze fixed on the bride's face, breathing shakily as if trying to warn her of something urgent, something no one else could see. And for the first time that day, the bride felt a chill run down her spine. At first, everyone assumed Max was excited, maybe confused by the crowded church or overwhelmed by the music. But the moment the bride gently reached for him, Max stepped backward and let out a soft, trembling whine. Not playful, not stubborn. Frightened, he circled her once, nose brushing the hem of her wedding gown, sniffing urgently as if checking every inch of her for danger. The bridesmaids exchanged uneasy glances. The maid of honor whispered, "Why? Is he acting like that?" The groom stepped forward, forcing a laugh. "He's just startled. I'll move him." But when he reached out, Max's reaction stunned everyone. A deep growl rose from his chest. The dog's fur bristled. His body shifted protectively in front of the bride, his eyes locked on the groom with an intensity sharp enough to silence the entire room. Gasps echoed through the pews. Even the officiant took a nervous step back. "Max," the bride whispered, shocked. "What's gotten into you?" The best man tried to push Max aside, but the dog snarled, snapping his jaws in warning, not viciously, but firmly, like a soldier refusing to abandon his post. Guests whispered urgently, "Is he sensing something? Has he ever done this before? Why won't he let her walk?" The bride knelt, her hands shaking as she cupped Max's face. His eyes glistened. Not wild, not angry, but desperately trying to tell her something. Something painful, something urgent, something she wasn't ready to hear. The murmurs in the church grew louder as Max suddenly shifted his weight, ears twitching toward the side aisle. Without warning, he bolted, not toward the groom, not toward the guests, but toward a narrow hallway leading to the bridal preparation rooms. His claws clicked urgently against the polished floor, echoing like alarm bells. "Max," the bride called, breathless, lifting her gown as she hurried after him. Guests parted in confusion. The groom's jaw clenched. The wedding planner whispered, "This is a disaster." But the bride ignored everyone, her heart racing as she followed her dog deeper into the church. Max skidded to a stop outside the small room where she had gotten ready earlier. He pawed at the door, whining, then glanced back at her with pleading eyes. The bride pushed the door open. Everything inside was exactly as she left it, except Max wasn't interested in the makeup table or the mirror. He ran straight to her veil bag lying on the chair. He shoved his nose inside. digging frantically until he dragged out a small velvet box, one she didn't recognize. Her breath caught. What is that?" the maid of honor whispered, stepping in behind her. The bride opened the box with trembling fingers. Inside wasn't jewelry. It was something far more personal. A tarnished cufflink, one that had belonged to her late father. Beneath it lay a folded note. Max nudged her hand, urging her to unfold it. Her pulse hammered as she opened the paper. She recognized her father's handwriting instantly, and the first line made her knees weaken. Her hands trembled as she unfolded the fragile, time-stained paper. The handwriting was shaky, written in her father's final weeks, but still unmistakably his. The first sentence made her breath catch in her throat. "If you find this, it means the truth finally reached you." She sank slowly onto the chair, the room spinning. Max pressed his head against her knee, anchoring her as she read. Her father's letter revealed a secret she had never been meant to discover. Not until she was safe, not until she was older. Before he died, he had been investigating someone close to her, someone he believed was dangerous, someone he feared she might one day trust with her whole heart, her fiancé. The groom's name was written clearly in the letter. Her father had discovered evidence of fraud, manipulation, and hidden debts tied to dangerous people. He had warned her mother, begging her to keep the letter hidden until the right moment, that a moment just like this. The bride's heart pounded so hard she could barely breathe. She remembered Max's odd reaction during the engagement party, how he avoided the groom ever since. Dogs sensed things humans missed: fear, danger, lies. Her father wrote that Max had been trained to recognize stress chemicals associated with confrontation, the same scent the groom carried the night her father confronted him. Max hadn't been misbehaving. He wasn't jealous. He wasn't confused. He remembered the man who had threatened his former master. Realization flooded her. The bride felt her stomach drop. Max had been trying to save her from the very man waiting for her at the altar. The bride clutched the letter to her chest, her breath shaking as she stepped back into the hallway. Max stayed glued to her side, sensing the storm inside her. The church doors were still open, and the distant murmurs of confused guests echoed through the corridors. She walked toward the aisle, slowly at first, then with growing certainty. Her gown brushed against the pews. Heads turned. The groom's face brightened until he saw her expression. Her eyes were red. Her hands trembled, and Max growled the moment he saw him. "Where did you go?" the groom asked, forcing a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "You're scaring everyone." She held up the letter. The groom's smile cracked. "I found this in my veil bag," she said, voice tense. "Hidden. Left by my father. You remember him, don't you?" The groom stiffened. "I don't know what you're talking about." But his eyes, darting, frantic, betrayed him. The best man stepped forward. "Dude, what's going on?" A bridesmaid gasped, whispering, "He looks guilty." Before the groom could reply, Max lunged, barking sharply. The bride tightened her grip on his collar, but she didn't stop him. His bark wasn't violent that it was accusing. The groom backed away, panicked. "Everyone, calm down. This is a misunderstanding." But the bride shook her head. "No," she whispered. "The misunderstanding is thinking I didn't know." The church fell into absolute silence. Just seconds before everything shattered, the groom's face drained of color as the church doors slammed shut behind him, guests blocking his escape. Panic flickered in his eyes. Panic the bride had never seen before. Max barked again, sharper this time, forcing him still. The officiant stepped back. The maid of honor reached for the bride's hand. The truth was no longer hiding. Two officers, guests who happened to be on duty, approached slowly. "Sir," one said firmly, "we need to talk." The groom's voice cracked. "This is ridiculous. She can't believe a dog in a letter." But he never finished. The bride stepped forward, holding up the cufflink her father once wore. "My dad warned me. Max remembered what you did. And now so do I." Her words shattered whatever lies he had left. He broke down, babbling excuses, each one crumbling under the weight of truth. The officers handcuffed him gently, but firmly, and escorted him out. As the doors closed, the bride collapsed to her knees, tears spilling onto her dress. Max curled beside her, resting his head in her lap, letting her sob into his fur. Guests gathered around her, not judging, just comforting. Later, outside the church, she held Max close. "You didn't ruin my wedding," she whispered. "You saved me." And with Max by her side, she walked away, choosing freedom, truth, and a future built on loyalty, not lies.